So, we last left off in Paradise Falls, um, with Captain Haggard meeting and having a tour with a being called Oliver, trying to convince the captain that it was in his best interest to wanting to stay in his little realm. Meanwhile, while that was going on, Lieutenant Commander Martel was found over the body of another woman who seemed to have been stabbed repeatedly, knife weapon in hand, during the festival. Though there weren't too many eyewitnesses to the event, but Martel was taken into custody. And with that, we'll pick up from there.
Haggard will make his way over there. I think Wolfgang was the first to get there, and I'll kind of give Nordland the high sign as the security chief. Does the body on the ground have a purse or any sort of ID?
There is a purse, yes.
Using my handkerchief and pen, try to go through it and see if I can't find identification.
I won't make you roll for it. The identification of it is a Martha Rose.
Say that last name one more time.
Rose?
Rose. I'll make note of her address and all that good stuff.
I'm going to be examining. Have they grabbed Martel yet?
Yes, they've already grabbed Martel because he was found knife in hand over the body.
Have they taken the knife as well?
Yes, they've taken the knife into evidence.
I'm gonna hustle after them.
Alright.
Okay, hold him still for a moment. I need to examine him.
They stop, before they kind of put him into the car.
And I'm gonna start looking him over, like looking in his eyes, checking to see if he's without a tricorder. I'm trying to see if he's drugged or under some influence or showing any signs of being psychically controlled, or if he's clear-minded.
Give me insight medicine, difficulty of 1.
I have no focus for this because I'm not a doctor. I'll give you a threat for a die.
Alright.
Only just made it.
Alright. You can tell by looking into his eyes that he seems more in a state of shock. Like he's not really sure what's going on. Like he's just in that almost a daze-like state.
I want this man in a hospital. I want him under guard, and I want him examined. He looks to be he's not looking too well.
Sir, he had the knife in hand.
Yes, and he seems to be suffering from some sort of shock. So this man may very well pass out in the cell, and I don't want this man dying in our custody. Do you?
Give me presence command. Difficulty of 1.
Persuasion as a roll? Because I'm not lying. I'm actually worried he's going to pass out on
Yeah,
us.
that's fine. Yeah.
I'll roll it flat.
Oh, okay, sir. And he kind of pulls the radio out of the car and then starts going through, telling dispatch that they're going to take Martel to the local clinic.
I'll actually take out the identification, hold it out to him. Once I realize, oh, wait, he's calling in.
They recognize who you are. So
Oh, okay, good.
But yeah, they called it in, tell them, where the prisoners, where the suspect is going.
Yes.
I need to correct myself there for terms.
I'll shout out, Captain, I'm going with Martel. You coming with, or are you staying here?
I'm going to stay here, but don't go anywhere alone. I'll stay here with Nordland. Take... wait a minute.
I can take the petty officer over there. He seems to be free. I point to some random security petty officer.
I was just looking to see...
because I think all the other ones are aliens.
No, because we have some that are from the... I've seen if the chief of security from the Pioneer
Charlie
crew, Baker, was here.
Baker. Oh. Yeah, he would be in there.
And I think he's not one of the ones that has deliberately forgotten who he was.
Right, yeah.
Constable Baker, yeah. So take Constable Baker with you.
Wolfgang's going to give you a look for a second, but... Of course, sir. Come on, Baker, let's go.
Kind of shrugs. All right. And he hops into the cruiser. Of course, he's in his civilian clothes, but he will... Duty calls.
We're always on duty.
Nordland, take a close look around the area, see if you can find anything. This looks just like the previous killing where the killer didn't know what had happened. We don't know if they're being mentally controlled, drugged, or whatever. But I don't know if you'll be able to find anything, but search the immediate area and see if anything turns up.
Yes, sir. I won't let you down. I'll get you answers. And he will immediately, with some vigor, start looking around and investigating.
Right. Give me a insight. No, let's go reason security for this one. Difficulty 2.
Oh, that reason score, though.
Yeah, no.
It's a pro score.
Yeah.
You search around. Oddly enough, the crime scene in the vicinity around is, there's foot traffic, and there's quite a bit of it. Presumably from the actual activity from the festival. Unfortunately, the only indication where the crime happened itself, where blood and a set of bloody footprints, presumably from Martel. But the footprints seem to be isolated around the scene of the crime.
Sir, I found these footprints, but I can't make heads or tails of where they're going or what they're doing.
I'll come over and check them out, see if I can suss out anything about them.
Unfortunately, it's just a lot of foot traffic, is what it is. Like you see foot imprints from typical men's shoes to high heels.
Ah, damn, festival traffic's wiped out any traces. Might be useful. Commander West, Dr. Molson, come here for a second.
They approach.
All right. It looks like Oliver and his people aren't going to let us just sit it out. I can't tell whether this is just a game he's devised for his own amusement or if something in his experiment here is getting out of control. But unless it helps us maneuver through this particular scenario, from this point on, we're Starfleet officers again. Commander West, I want you to work on integrating the Pioneer crew with my crew. You're for the duration, you're going to be acting as my second officer. See if you can find the department heads, get everybody organized as possible. Nobody goes anywhere alone. I think groups of 3 might work out better than groups of 2. Doctor, can you take a quick look at the body here and see if, from what you can tell, it matches the wounds and matches the attack pattern of the previous victim?
Banner West, she just kind of nods her head and then kind of moves off to gather some groups up. The doctor kind of kneels over, looks at it, and I don't recognize her. Is she one of yours, Captain?
Is Martha Rose one of ours?
Not that you can tell.
I don't think so. And as I recall, the first victim wasn't a member of either crew either. But one of the, I don't know if they're humans or they're just look-alike constructs devised by Oliver. Did you find anything odd in your autopsy of the first victim?
No, oddly enough.
What's odd about nothing being odd?
It was too precise. And these ones of indication, looking at them, I would have to do a proper autopsy at the clinic. However, I'm seeing very similar patterns here. Oddly enough, as he starts kind of moving his finger and counting, there's one more additional stab wound to this particular victim.
Does any of them appear to have pierced the heart?
All of them pierce vital points, Captain.
But as I recall, in the first victim, it was almost as if the killer had purposely avoided the heart, liver, kidneys, lung, but all the strikes were perfect to hit a vital internal organ, but the heart was completely untouched.
That is correct, Captain.
Well, same goes for you as I told Commander West, Doctor. take Dr. Ansas. Who else do we have? Let me look at the
I think
medical.
Ansas is part of the ones.
Yeah, Ansas is an alien. He's not human.
Oh, okay.
Give me real quick though. Norland. Give me Insight Security difficulty 2.
Nice.
You notice someone sort of hovering near a tree. It was kind of hard to spot. It's a good distance away, but he's seems to be kind of carefully watching.
Sir, we're being watched. As I very covertly kind of wave with my eyes over.
How far away is the observer?
50 feet.
Do I recognize him?
No, but I'm spending 2 threat. He starts kind of notices and starts briskly walking away.
Nordland, let's pick him up.
Yes, sir. As I go into a full sprint after him.
Fitness Security difficulty 1.
And I'll follow Nordland.
Same check. Fitness security. Yep. Alright, you get a momentum out of that.
Huh.
Hey, we got momentum.
Yay!
You run up your. As you take on down on sprint, he takes on a sprint as well, as he's trying to run as fast as he can and catch up to him. But what are you gonna do now?
Are there any rocks nearby?
No, unfortunately not.
Sticks?
You probably have your billy club.
I have a billy club?
You're one of those
Yeah, you're a beat cop.
people of the 50s. So you probably have all the accoutrements.
Do I have a revolver?
I believe so.
For an opportunity cost, I can say you can have one of them. Everyone was off duty, so.
Yeah, we were at a festival, so.
Ah.
However,
So
since
which
Haggard,
item?
Revolver?
Okay.
and as I recall, Haggard, before he left the house, specifically said he was putting his shoulder holster on and wearing a light sport coat. Yeah.
So you're gonna use the revolver?
I'm going to fire a warning shot into the air and yell, "Stop!"
Haggard will draw his and say, "Stop in the name of the law, or I shoot."
Present security difficulty 2.
Can I use that momentum?
Sure.
We needed to use the momentum for the opportunity cost.
Oh,
for you
yeah.
to have the revolver.
Oh, okay. Never
You
mind.
can give threat, though.
No.
There you
Captain
go.
assists?
Yeah, sure.
What's the difficulty?
It was 2. He made it.
Okay.
This is more
present
just to get
security.
momentum.
Present security. Oh, just take one of them.
So 1 momentum. He here's a shot. He stops. He throws his hands up. I didn't do anything. Proclaims.
That's what they all say.
Haggard will holster his revolver and spin the guy around.
I will keep my revolver trained on him.
You're taking an awfully big interest there in the body. Who are you?
Just a civilian.
What's your name, civilian?
You can call me Jack.
Pat him down, see if he's got a wallet.
He does.
Take it out and see if he's got any ID.
Okay. The ID shows the name of Jack Holmes.
Jack Holmes, as in Sherlock.
Yep.
Okay, he's not on my list of their crew. So, Jack, you off of the Pioneer, or are you one of Oliver's boys?
Oh, so he told you.
Yeah, Oliver gave me the whole tour.
I'm just a simple onlooker. I believe your human term is tourist.
And I will click the hammer back.
Really?
Well, you may be about to have a tour of 1950s American law enforcement. Unfortunately for you, the Miranda Act hasn't passed yet, as I recall my history. So you'll be coming with us. Just think of what you'll be able to tell all of your friends, the booking procedures, the ink on your fingers. And I'm grabbing him by the like above the elbow and kind of walking him back towards the officers on the scene.
Exciting. This
So
is
how long
fun.
have you been on this tour?
Oh, I come and go. Every so
How long have you
often.
been in Paradise Falls this time?
Oh, a few months.
Did he say 2 months or did you say a few months? So you were around for the first murder as well.
What murder? Seemed interesting. Though you guys can't really die here, so always come back to life in some form. Or in some other location. Oliver doesn't like to waste.
Well, here's the thing, though. You're not actually seeing any of us get offed. The previous murder and this one, they're nothing but clever simulacra.
I mean,
And I'm beginning to think that Oliver's considering this waste. It doesn't fit in with the program. Paradise Falls is paradise.
well, there has to be excitement every now and then. You humans are rather rash and reckless at times.
Hmm. So when we make our way back to the officers on the scene, I'll have them cuff this guy, and then Nordland, shall we head back to the station and interrogate?
Yes, sir. Shall I lead the interrogation?
I think that would be perfect.
It's a new one. I haven't experienced in all my times coming here.
And we'll get the officer in the patrol car to take us back to the police station. I said I wanted everybody to be alone, and threes were better. So I'll just have to risk it for now. There are two of us. So yeah, head back to the station.
You head back to the station. I'm assuming you put him in one of the interrogation rooms.
Yep, and let Nordland lead the interrogation.
Assuming you sit him down in the chair, he's just standing there smiling.
I'll just sit down and say, "Look, I'm sorry about all this. You know, it wasn't up to me. I didn't want to bring you in. He made me do it. So, you know, just give me something so I can make him happy, and we can all get out of here."
What are you talking about? This is fun. This is the most exciting exhibit so far.
And I look around, and I assume it's just like a plain pale white room.
Sort of. I mean, it's a wooden table, wooden chair. Might be a fan in the corner with a little grate on it. There's no windows or anything like that, except for maybe a one-way mirror.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll leave you to enjoy the exhibit here. When you're done enjoying this exhibit, just let us know, and somebody will eventually get me, and we can then talk and get you out of here. But for now, enjoy your exciting surroundings as I kind of show off the exciting room. And then I will stand up, walk out, close the door, lock it.
Okay.
And Haggard, way down the hall, will say, "You realize, of course, that he's not necessarily bound by this physicality. We've seen him disappear before."
Now they tell me.
So I'll go in this time.
Okay.
So, Mr. Holmes, you've said you'd been in Paradise Falls for a few months, but you didn't appear to remember the first murder, which took place just less than a week ago.
Oh, that incident. Yeah.
And yet, tonight's
I
incident
travel
was...
from exhibit to exhibit. I go from here to the other point or other, I guess, eras of your people. And whatever he calls this is most lame. prefer the Roman exhibit. It's a lot of fun.
Funny, I would have pictured you as a Civil War buff. But yes, this simulation is based on actual fictional entertainment broadcast, old electromagnetic spectrum broadcast television. It bears some
crude.
it bears some resistance to the historical period, but not much. And when everything's told, there's a much more violent and oppressive period in this nation state's particular history than was showed in its popular entertainment. So, why the deep interest in tonight's most recent murder? You don't seem to have terribly much regard for us in general.
I like to study things. It piqued my interest only for a moment. Wanted to see how you guys react. It's quite marvelous, really.
So, you were studying how the exhibit would react to a murder from the simulation's point of view.
There was someone died in a place that's supposed to be peaceful. Wanted to see how you creatures respond to such devastation. Though it's quite mild, I would think.
Well, you see, the problem with your interest is that it makes you rather more of a suspect. I'm honestly not sure if this is part of the program or if somebody is attempting to alter or attempting to throw the program off track. And someone with such an interest in events as yourself, and from a species that, from what I've seen, is several iterations more advanced than my own and that of my fellow humans, leads you to not have too much empathy for us, and therefore quite capable of murdering us just to satisfy your morbid curiosity. What do you think about all that?
That's quite a wonderful spin there you have. Is it detective or is it captain?
Well, for the purposes of the simulation, it's detective. In reality, it's captain.
Well, detective, for the sake of the exhibit, curiosity is in our nature, at least it once was. Some of us like to cling to those notions. We do get bored after a few millennia.
I can imagine. Probably even run out of books. So, you and I both know there's no way I can keep you here against your will. But I would appreciate it if you stayed in town, as it were.
Oh, I will, but you may not know me the next time we meet. There's a little bit of flickering of the lights as they go dim and pulse, and guy's head bows and comes back up and starts looking around in a sudden shock. Where am I?
Wonderland, Alice. You're in Wonderland. And I open the door, and You're free to go.
Why am I here? This is...
You passed out. Just a little bit of dehydration. You're fine. You were just a little bit confused there for a while, but now it seems you're back to yourself. So we just brought you here for your own safety. Lots going on at the festival. So, but you're all right now. Just be sure and drink plenty of fluids.
The festival, has it already started?
Yes, I'm afraid you've missed it.
I must have...
Dehydration can do
drinking
funny
early.
things to the mind.
Maybe I should go home and get some rest.
That's probably for the best,
They-
sir.
Who are you?
I'm Lieutenant Haggard of the PFPD. You were about to pass out at the festival, so I just brought you here. It was quicker, and I kind of keep shooing him out of the station.
Thank you. And as he kind of makes his way out, stumbling, confused, out of the police station.
And I turn back to Nordland. Well, now we know what's happening.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. Your techniques were insightful and wise.
Well, I had the advantage of having the tour by Oliver, so they can jump in and out of people's minds. For whatever reason, one of these tourists or one of Oliver's workers has taken it into their heads to toy with us, and not in an unpleasant fashion. Unfortunately, they're, well, you saw, they can come and go as they will.
Out of curiosity, what happens if the host dies while they're in it?
I don't know. This is the first time we've had confirmation of this kind of psychic control or possession. Let's head for the hospital, see if we can't catch up with Commander Wolfgang and Constable Baker. And then we'll swing by the morgue as well, see what Pioneer's doctor has for us.
Aye, sir. Lead the way.
And by the way, Baker and the doctor and West are all members of the crew of the USS Pioneer, which disappeared over 100 years ago. It's a NX refit class that we stumbled across, and they've been here for what they think is about 7 years. And meanwhile, so I am talking about other Starfleet officers, just not from the Argo crew, although there are about 120 of them here too.
Sir, if they think that they've been here 7 years, how long have we been here?
Believe me, the thought has crossed my mind. And the question is, where is here, and how far is here from where we were, where the Argo was when we were captured by the trap that these aliens set? We know that it was transmitting to a location somewhere far away, but we never learned where before waking up here. However, I'm sure that the crew of the Argo is working on that problem. We have to work it out from this end.
Just think, sir. If we got stuck in here long enough, by the time we get out of here, who knows? Klingons could be serving on Federation vessels.
Well, I suppose it's good to have dreams, Mr. Nordland, but I can't even hardly imagine that.
Yes, I know, it's silly, but I like to dream sometimes of everyone getting along, even the Klingons who we know would never do that.
Well, I suppose it's possible, but
Come,
that'll have
sir.
to.
A
That'll have.
Klingon on a Federation ship. Next,
I
you'll
don't.
say that he was disgraced and, from a great house or something.
You should write fiction. In any event, I think it'll take my generation dying off before there'll be any chance of that. So let's go see if we can't figure out where the hospital is and catch up with Commander von Wartburg.
Yes, sir.
All right. You two exit the police station. It's a short walk. I mean, the clinic's not too far. It's a small town.
Didn't know if you wanted to catch up with
Yeah.
Wolfgang.
So Wolfgang, it was a short drive over, and they brought you and Martel into the clinic. They take Martel in, who's still in a state of shock, and one of the doctors who's currently on call kind of was like, "What's wrong with the man? And why is he covered in blood? Is he injured?"
He's currently suspected of assaulting someone, possibly killing them. However, I saw that he seems to be suffering from some form of shock, and I'm not sure if it's drug-induced or from the trauma of the event. I advise that he is treated for shock and examined, possibly blood sample. I would also want you to draw a blood sample from him as well. I'll also want full details and reports on his on your work.
It'll take some time for the blood work.
Right. Damn, 20th century. Yes, just get it done. And these men will be guarding him for his safety as well as yours.
Very well. Nurse, put him in observation room 2.
I'm probably going to Wolfgang's going to probably spend a little time quizzing him to make sure this guy actually knows medicine at all. Like, does he actually know how to treat a human with shock?
I kind of knows he's... The terminology, there might be some more advancements to treat it between the air time, but he seems pretty confident in terms for what that air of knowledge on how to treat shock victims, people who are in state of shock.
Okay. So he's not completely smash rocks together medicine. It's like, no, he has medicine from that era at least, which is not great,
Yeah.
but it's better than nothing. I'm going to take out a notepad and follow after him, and I'm going to start taking notes on his appearance, how he looks. And in this era, they have like those big stand-up photo things, right? Like the big flash bulb and everything. It's like 50s era tech.
Yeah.
Oh wait, these were photos back then.
Yeah, you were playing with it last time, and you kind of figured out how to work
You
it.
were.
All right, doctors, I want you to attend to him as best you can. I'm gonna have pictures of all his injuries and for evidence. Also to adhere to his treatment.
As you're going through the kit, give me a insight security check real quick, Wolfgang.
Sure. Security. Difficulty?
2. Because the difficulty is you're trying to do all this and you're spotting something out of the corner of your eye.
Infiltration focus?
No.
No, I didn't think so either.
Yeah,
You spy
observation.
with your little eye.
I'll throw that momentum for an extra die. Whew.
Got it. You realize that the nurse that's helping the doctor, she looks awfully very familiar, like you've seen her before.
Excuse me, nurse, have we met?
When she turns around, I don't believe so. And when she turns and you look at her face, you realize it looks very much like the dead victim you saw this morning.
The rest of you carry on. Nurse, I need to talk to you for a second. I have a few questions for you.
Okay, I need to get this IV started, or you might.
You can work and talk. It's fine. Flips open to a new page. What is your name, ma'am? And basically, he's interrogating her to figure out what her name is. Where was she earlier that day? He's kind of going. She's trying to go kind of fast, so she doesn't have time to think about it too much. While still trying to pause, so she has time to kind of actually do the IV thing.
Scarlett Carter, sir, and she's going to had toast this morning for breakfast and came into work for the night shift.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the same name as the person as the victim?
Victim's name was Amelia Keller.
Oh, I have it here too. Do you know a Miss Keller?
No.
I'll start taking down her particulars, like I'm writing down her height, her hair color, stuff like that. More for my character to kind of check against his notes later. But I'm gonna guess on a glance that just talking to her, she doesn't seem to be. She doesn't sound like she's lying or hemming hawing over her answers. She's answering to as truthfully as she believes it is, anyway.
She is.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, nurse. I must have gotten mixed up. Sorry about that.
Not at all. Can I get you anything?
Oh, water would be nice.
Of course. And she kind of walks off. A few moments later, comes back with the cup of water. Excuse me, I have to check on a patient and.
Of course. And he's gonna when she leaves, he's gonna set the cup of water down. He has with them Baker and company.
Yeah, Baker's standing outside.
Okay. I'll examine Caleb some more to see if there's anything else I can figure out about why he's in shock, see if he's injured or anything like that. But beyond that, he's guarding him so he doesn't get taken away by the MIB.
Nice reference. He starts to kind of come to and goes, "Commander?"
Don't get up. You went into shock there for a second, and how do you feel?
Kind of looks okay.
What's the last thing you remember?
Trying to meet up with you guys. The rest of the crew with the cap. I'm trying to talk as best I can like him, so.
Yeah. Do you remember getting to the park?
Yeah.
What did you do when you got there?
I was talking with the woman I met at my shop, and then nothing.
Did you feel that you had a uncomfortable in any way when you were talking to her? Itchy throat, sore eyes, anything like that? Tingling in the fingers?
No. And at this point in time is when Captain Haggard and Norland enter the clinic.
Number one, Martel.
Captain Nordland.
Put my hand on Martel's shoulder. How are you feeling?
All right, sure. I'm just a little confused. Did I do something horrible?
Yes and no. Are we alone in the room?
Baker's standing guard outside the
Okay, fair enough.
room.
But no, nobody else in here right now.
Just us three and the
No.
cat.
Okay. Here's what Nordland and I have discovered. Apparently, the aliens are able to enter these simulations by, for lack of a better term, possessing humans or the simulations of humans that seem to make up part of the population here. We just, Nordland and I interviewed one of the tourists for this particular simulation. But when they leave, at least, there's definitely some sort of electromagnetic surge. And I describe how the lights flickered when the entity appeared to leave the possessed body. So I think that's what's happening. Some of these, one or more of these entities is on some sort of thrill kill spree, leaping into innocence and then using their bodies to commit the murders and then jumping back out to watch the fallout.
Sir, I just got an idea.
What's that?
What do you think would happen, seeing as how they're using some sort of electromagnetics to move from person to person, if we disrupt that, say, create a Faraday cage that's electrified?
Or some sort of magnetic field I was thinking along the same lines. Wolfgang, is there a way you could, I'd figured we could make a Faraday cage, but is there a way we could disrupt the electromagnetic spectrum over a larger area?
Theoretically possible, especially it's a bit difficult with the technology for this era. Copper and such would be easy enough. It's the power generation that's going to be a pain. I believe he rips his head. I think they had nuclear power by this point. That, or at least coal. He shakes his head. But portable batteries like the ones we would use would be, I think, a bit beyond them. But it's something that could be done. The tricky bit is doing it for a large group or a building.
What about internal combustion engines or a series of them? There are a lot of cars around here.
You could, but then it's a matter of fuel consumption. We could keep it going for depending on how much power we need, how many cars spread it across. We can keep it for a while, assuming we can keep this car secure from interference.
Or about simply hooking it up to the local power grid.
We can do that as well. The trick is, if we would want to have some sort of power source that would be independent of outside interference, so they couldn't just shut off the power because take the power out of the cage. It's nice interference, but not enough for advanced technology.
Interesting.
Could we produce maybe some sort of large electromagnetic pulse that would be enough to, wouldn't have to be continuous, but would be enough to disrupt things or leave enough ionization or whatever in the atmosphere to disrupt those kind of things theoretically?
For this era, that requires something akin to a nuclear blast. I can't think of anything else they have in this era that would be powerful enough to interfere with advanced technology. And I'm not particularly keen on seeing how well they're willing to simulate that. But the cage is something we could do, sir. It's within our means. It's just a matter of making sure it's secured and we have the standard backup and backup for the backup.
So what are you thinking of it, Nordland, as protection for those in it, or a means of jailing tourists?
I was thinking of jailing a tourist, since the first thing he said that he was excited. Well, let's make it boring. Let's make it real boring.
Assuming we can find him again, they're able to jump in and out of different vessels, for lack of a better word.
Well, we could set a trap. Give him something really interesting to see, maybe?
Ambush tactics, do that one by one and then slowly pull them into the cage or cages. We could actually, if we're just doing personnel containment, a car plus some copper, some quick construction, we could throw it together, have some of them spread out and pull people in as needed.
It's definitely an idea. I don't like the idea of leaving Martel at the mercy of local police forces.
Oh, we don't necessarily have to, sir. I just simply brought him to the hospital to make sure he didn't die from shock. He's had all the symptoms. As far as I could tell, I didn't want him sitting in a jail cell with their primitive understanding of human physiology.
And judging from the reaction of this Jack Holmes we spoke to, they have no memory of the time that the alien entity possesses their bodies, and when it leaves, they're disorientated.
Oh, one thing to report, sir. I encountered a spitting image of our first victim.
Really?
Mia Keller right in my face. Oh, she goes by Nurse Scarlett Carter now.
Does she appear to have any memory of her previous incarnation?
Not a bit. In fact, she seemed to have a very different set of memories. And as far as I could tell, she didn't seem to be making any effort to hide or make up things on the fly.
Well, keep on calling Dr. Moreau. Dr. Molson said that these simulacrums were just too perfect. So, I mean, if they can create mock humans, probably loading them and overriding various memories is not going to be a big jump.
We have that technology ourselves. It's a bit invasive and drug heavy, but it's doable.
All right. Well, Mr. Martel, if you're feeling up to it, let's go see if we can't find the good ship's Dr. Molson and see what he's found out about the latest victim.
Yeah, sure.
You probably are gonna want a different set of clothes, though.
Looks down. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll step out of the room and ask Baker to go get a set of clothes.
Of course. Are you sure that be kind of suspicious? He was seen by quite a few people.
I believe he was under some sort of external influence, and right now we need to find out and secure whomever's doing it.
Well, we could also half handcuff him.
That does work, actually, yeah, so keep up the illusion, if nothing else.
Right. Nordland, let's see your cuffs. Or actually, you're not in uniform, but Constable is. Constable, let me see your cuffs.
Hands them to you, and I'll get those set of clothes. And he walks off.
Yep. So Martel, you'll put these on without connecting them, but keep your hands in front of you and act like you're cuffed.
If nothing else, to keep the phantom police here from interfering with us.
Yeah, sure. See what I can do.
So are you gonna go see the doctor, which is technically in the same building?
Yeah.
Okay. Baker comes back with a set of clothes. I'm assuming Martel is changing into them.
Yeah, I am.
The technically, I guess, five head towards the morgue area where the doctor is at, performing an autopsy. As you enter the room, you or about ready to enter the room in the hallway, you hear the doctor kind of yelling at someone's like, "What are you doing? You can't do this right now! Like, hands up! Put that. You cannot look.
Bust
I'm in the
in.
middle of a."
Yep, let's bust in.
All right, you bust in. And there's the doctor
Gangbusters.
along with the two Fable agents that you've been dealing with.
Ah, Agent's frickin' frack.
That's Agent Carter to you.
Let's call you what you actually are, Oliver's groundskeepers.
Just kind of grunts a little bit.
You have any idea why some of your tourists are jumping into human brains and committing murders? Or
It's nonsense.
it's not nonsense at all. Neither Martel here or the previous quote-unquote killer, whose name is somewhere around here.
Jay Grant.
Jay Grant, yeah. Nor did Jay Grant. Both of them exhibited the same kinds of disorientation that you see when one of your kind leaves one of us. Just like we saw with Jack Holmes when another tourist was using him to watch our reaction to the crime scene and then abruptly left him in the middle of the police station. One of your people is going around playing in the experiments. So far, it appears he's only hit whatever your human simulacras are. But sooner or later, they're going to hit one of us, and you may find us more difficult to repair and replace.
I feel physiologically. Cannot talk now. Sorry.
Okay.
Can easily be repaired and replaced.
Physiologically, maybe. Neurologically, maybe a whole different game. And how much of an exhibit are you going to have when you don't have real, authentic humans and just a bunch of simulacra?
Never mind the ethical quandary of making people suffer death and assault.
Yeah, that too. Look, we have a lot of problems with what's going on here now, but Oliver needs to know that someone is taking advantage and abusing his system, if he doesn't know already. And we need the tools to figure out who it is and how to stop them.
Give me a command presence roll, difficulty 3.
Okay.
Could I possibly be considered assisting with this?
And increase complication.
Don't know
Trying
what
to
you
see
want
if
me
I have a value that will. Could I invoke 750 people depend on me?
Well, the number's wrong for one. Sorry.
Okay, 120 people depend on me.
It's actually there's 500 people here.
Right, 500 people. All right, depend on me, because they're preying on humans or human-esque creatures, and eventually my crew's in danger, and this may be the way to get out. So I'll spend a determination there. Let me go ahead and roll to see if I get it back. Yay! Okay, and then I'll give you a bold for.
Too bold.
A threat for 2 bold, 3. 2 threat for an extra. Technically,
Words are hard,
4th
I
die.
know.
Yeah.
Do you want the extra assistance with the increased complication, or do you think you got it? I think you should have it on your own, though.
Yeah, it's a 3, hopefully, and I can re-roll one with bold.
Yeah, I'll stay out of it.
You got it.
There's just a 3. Let's go ahead and roll for a complication. Whew.
One momentum.
Haha.
The two look at each other, and they look back. Fine. See your point. However, we have a job to do, despite you may not like it. We don't get this individual, she will be dead.
So, question: was there any significance to the first victim's heart not being stabbed? Did that make vivification easier, or does
No.
it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Doctor, were you able to perform any kind of examination?
Somewhat, despite these two hooligans who interrupted my work. But I can confirm the heart was not pierced. It seemed all vital points, major arteries, and as well as, from what I can tell, certain other vital organs. One was the extra pierce was into the trachea. She also suffocated to death. Not trachea. That's the wrong term. God, what is that certain point? Right.
Trachea?
The trachea. Yes.
So why is he avoiding the heart? We're going to need Oliver's help if we can and if we're going to be able to figure out what's going on and stop it. Tell him to contact me as soon as he's able.
Very well. Doctor, if you don't mind, the two agents look at like, we need the body. Doctor just shrugs like, whatever.
And we'll read the doctor in on what we've learned. So, options, suggestions?
The room goes silent.
So, a recap from the first victim and this other victim. All have been struck in vital points of the human body, except for the new one. And all have missed the heart. At least both of them.
Perhaps that's important that they never hit the heart.
Exactly. But the question is why? It's not like, my first thought was that damaging the heart would make revivification more difficult. But if we're to believe the groundskeepers, that's not the case. And then we have this additional stab wound that was not at a vital area, but if I'm understanding correct, Doctor, made the victim suffer a bit more?
It would, unless it was the initial puncture wound to keep them from screaming.
Mm.
In that case, it was a rather painful death.
And it may have been just that. The first victims took place later at night, and the only witness was the man who was with her, who, of course, was possessed. The fact that they're both... Doctor, did this victim also appear to have the overly perfect design as the first?
For the most part, yes. I'm kind of curious. It almost seems like whoever is committing these crimes is perhaps experimenting. At least from this victim, and perhaps there is others. You said there was other exhibits, right? No, of course there is.
Right.
It is possible whoever this person is, individual, has been doing this for quite some time and has been experimenting each time.
To what end, Doctor?
I am not a psychologist, or let alone into that field of experience of, I dare say, a serial killer.
Out of character, is there enough clues for me as a chief of security to quote unquote play detective a little bit?
Engineer.
Yeah, aren't you chief engineer?
Yeah, you're right, my bad. I was thinking security.
You were on the Azure.
Although I am a very security-minded person.
Mr. Nordland might be more apt for that. With your assistance, you might be able to pull together a facsimile of the what the suspect's intents are. Possibly narrow down what his actual goal is. Assuming we can get all the data we need.
Might it be significant that both victims are women? Or simulacra thereof?
I don't know, GM. Can I put together some sort of killer profile?
Yeah, give me a reason plus security, difficulty 2.
Oh god, is that reason again?
Yep.
I might
Horrible
need that
stat, I
third
know.
die.
If it is possible for me to assist, I have a pretty good reason.
I would say anyone here can assist with that if they want to, because you're all collaborating.
Although nobody asked what the difficulty was.
It is 2,
Okay.
so you made it, and you get the momentum back.
Aha.
From what you can tell, all murders have been taking place in the park. Both victims have stab wounds that are punctured into the vital parts of the human anatomy, all of which also avoided the heart. Well, both. Both victims are female. Um, Relatively, you could presume that the victim could have been coerced into going off somewhere private, or they might have known who the perpetrator was. Um, Both have been committed in isolation. And both have used a kind of similar method of a knife, either a kitchen knife, like the one was, and from what you can tell from the other one from memory, it's um, a letter opener.
Do we still have the bodies in the morgue?
Both the bodies have been taken to reclamation.
Basically, they
you
recycled the body.
essentially, from what you've gathered on that, is that the bodies are being, at least the victims, have been repaired and repurposed. Both victims are not part of the Pioneer or Argo crew.
Is there are there any bodies not even related to this in the morgue right now?
There are none, no. In fact, the morgue is empty.
I wonder if the killer is specifically avoiding Argo and Pioneer crew members because that would get Oliver's wind up. I don't know, though. It's assuming Oliver's not the killer. Or the experimenter, as the case may be. So if we're going to lay a trap, it has to be in the park. But the problem I see with that is that these aren't necessarily crimes of opportunity. I mean, Grant took the knife from, or the person possessing Grant took the knife from the house ahead of time. Martell didn't walk around with a letter opener on him either. So they're picking their vessels far enough in advance to at least somewhat prepare.
Well, it's possible, sir, that with some advanced setup, we could have watch stations over the in observation points on the park, since that seems to be where these are all occurring. And make sure that they're distant enough that it's not easily seen. Maybe conceal them as like star watchers or bird watchers. That way, they're not literally looking like a guard post nest.
Well, we do have 120 Argonauts plus however many pioneers to call on.
Plus, I believe this area did have radios, so we can communicate that way. Simple magnifiers for the area, so we can keep quite some distance, and maybe have a team close to the scene to react should anyone spot anything.
How much time occurred between the first and second murders? It wasn't much.
What was it, like a day, I think?
Yeah.
Also, if we catch this guy, we'd probably want to have a way to put him into holding in one of these Faraday cage ideas that we had. So that way we can actually hold him rather than him just leaving the body immediately.
Mm.
Problem is they don't have not less than lethal weaponry in this era. Just these projectile weapons.
Well, the problem is how quickly they can jump out of their target too. I don't suppose there's any way to make some equivalent like portable Faraday cage or net or something with maybe just enough power source to do what it needs to do quickly enough for us to get them to a larger prepared space.
What do you think, Martel? Think you can make something a Faraday gauge portable that you could launch with 1950s technology, or otherwise manually manipulate?
With 1950s technology? No, I don't think there's any way I can do that.
Well, from what I could tell when the entity left Mr. Holmes, it required a moment of concentration. So it may be that if we can deny the entity that moment and maybe even render it unconscious before that moment, that it may not be able to jump.
The only way we're doing that without accidentally killing the vessel is with our primitive bludgeons. Although the minute you knock someone, if you hit someone hard enough to knock them out, you also risk brain damage. But that's the best we got for subduing someone, other than making a makeshift taser. But I don't know any way to do that safely in this era.
Well, we can at least organize the stakeout of the park. The second murder, did it happen at night as well, or late afternoon with the festival?
It happened during the festival.
So nighttime.
So night had fallen.
Okay,
And
so it was
the
dark.
other body was found in the morning, and it was presumed that it was done at, in the evening time.
Yeah, somewhere between 10 and midnight, if I remember.
So we have until nightfall tomorrow to be set up for additional attack.
Right. I've breveted Commander West as acting second officer. Number one, Mr. Nordland, coordinate with her to set up watch stations. I think it best if a minimum of 3 people are together.
Mm-hmm. I concur, sir.
Now, the next question is, what do we do with Martel here? He's a wanted man.
Oh, we just keep him with me or you. In this era, we can simply say he's assisting us capturing the real criminal or some other fiction.
It's worth a shot anyway. Anyone else have any ideas, suggestions, better plans?
We do still need to discuss who the assault team is. Having the watchtowers are one thing, but we need someone to rush in and attack him and subdue him before he gets too far, before he escapes.
Well, that sounds right up Mr. Nordland's alley. And honestly, number one, you and Ince and Commander Martell aren't too shabby when it comes to throwing punches either.
I was going to suggest that I coordinate in Overwatch the watch team so they stay hidden as best as possible. Although I do agree, Martell's security knowledge will be crucial in trying to secure them, as well as yourself, sir. If nothing else.
All right, then the jump squad is myself, Martell, and Nordland.
We'll have to gather enough radios for everybody and start positioning everyone, and you can work from there. And thankfully, everyone's nice and trained, so this shouldn't take all day.
Well, let's see if we've got the walkie-talkies or whatever they called them at the police station to requisition.
Worst case scenario, we can go to a local electronics store. He grins at that. For the good of the United States that do not have states. He grins at the captain on that, knowing it irks him.
It is. It's such a stupid thing to leave out.
Martell, do you think you'll be better barehanded, or do you think you'll need a bludgeon as well?
I don't know.
You don't know?
All right, wait. What was the question again?
I'm wondering if you need a weapon to help subdue the suspect, or if you're better off just with your fists.
Yep, we're not trying to kill, and so our options are barehanded or bludgeoning.
Or grappling, I suppose.
Yeah.
With those two options, I'm just as good either way.
Okay.
Okay, so Nordland, why don't you and Martell kind of keep a low key. Commander von Wartburg and I will see what we can requisition from the police station.
Yes, sir.
And let's head on over that way. We can leave Lieutenant Baker with Martell and Nordland as well.
Okay.
So head over to the police station, see if we can figure out where the armory, supply room.
All right.
Basically,
you get over to the police station. You go into where essentially the weapons locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Inside there, there is a sergeant. Kind of said, "I was like, detectives, can I help you with something?"
We need field radios.
Kind of looks back a little bit. Okay. Kind of scrubbles along. A few minutes pass by, and then he comes down. There's this big box. He sets it down, and clipboard is like, "I need you to sign here."
Okay. What is the clipboard? What does the piece of paper say? What's it calling the equipment?
It's calling it's essentially field radio equipment, and
Okay.
it's a pretty big unit.
So it's not like a walkie-talkie. It's more like a
Yeah.
More ham radio, big hunking thing.
Like Korean War era military radio.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, at least we're doing it stationary. He says when he sees the radio. I was hoping it'd be smaller.
Well, I'll sign for it and go. And Sergeant, the guy we're looking for, we want to bring him in alive, but we're afraid he might be trouble. You don't have anything like those old-fashioned blackjacks, something that'll take him out pretty quick, but not necessarily crack the skull.
Thanks for a moment. Might have something. Kind of walks back, comes over, sets a. I'm not sure if this is historically accurate or not. So he sets a shotgun on the right there, and essentially a little, kind of like a carton, it's a little box, and goes. Each one of these, they're new. They're non-lethal rounds. They're essentially, I guess you call them bean bags. They hurt like hell, from what I'm told.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can't give him a field test, Sergeant.
Hmm.
So yeah, okay.
Try not to break any windows.
Mm.
Kind of shrugs.
My aim's better than that.
That's what's
So, yeah.
I'll look at the detective and look at the sergeant and go, that's what slugs are for.
So yeah, we'll start gathering up those radios and start distributing them in the shotguns to those who actually know how to use a firearm.
Yep.
And actually, probably keep the a lot of the most of the fire to perhaps the not the capture team, because you guys are going to be up close anyway. Most of the observation teams are going to be fairly far away.
Mm.
So, my question is, this is still on the same day.
Right.
So,
Oh, yeah.
And it's getting pretty late, technically, for your characters.
Oh, you mean we've... Right, we need to get some rest, is what you're saying.
Potentially. I mean, unless you want to spend do an all-nighter, which then I might...
right.
It's your choice.
All right. I don't really want us to split up unless we have to. Once we've got the stuff and gotten back together with Martel and Portland, let's all head back to my house.
Sleepover?
No.
Yeah, better just stick together so we can get right back to it for
Right.
first light.
And that'll give us a chance to get back with Commander West, see what else she's found out, and bring her into the loop of what's happening as well.
All right. Give me a Daring Con, difficulty 1. Take your car back to your house.
Oh, God. Which the difficulty's gone down. Barely.
It's nighttime driving.
Fair enough.
Sir, the headlights.
Well, right. Of course. Thank you, number one. Hey,
Yeah,
at
they
least
didn't have to drive it in the dark, sir.
hey, at least we know the car's big enough to fit everybody.
There's 5. We got a trunk. I mean, I guess you could have stashed Martel
Oh
in
man,
there.
you know it's like a 4-door sedan with 8-inch
Oh, yeah, it is.
fins.
It is.
Martel's also going to be listening and go, Captain, did you take the emergency brake off too?
That's what that grinding noise is.
Oh, where's the where? Oh, this thing. Click.
Yes, you managed to make it back to your humble home.
And if Nora's there, catch her up with everything. And then have a sleepover.
Yeah, she grabs some supposed conveniently spare blankets,
It's the 50s.
lays them out.
So yeah, get a good night's rest and get ready to start all over in the morning.
But for the most part, Laura doesn't really remember much of anything. Well,
About
remembers. Doesn't remember like in terms like other than what you've told her. She hasn't really in her time being here. Doesn't recall murders, but other than what she's seen, that she's seen a lot of
well, I mean, I know
different-
she came from the Civil War era, so I mean, she's seen killing and whatnot, and who knows if all of the soldiers were soldiers or what.
Yeah. Like she just doesn't recall, specifically, deaths involved, that. At least the MO.
So yeah, everybody try and get a good night's sleep. We're gonna need the rest.
Aye, sir.
Do what I can.
Alright. You guys get some rest. You wake up. Several, then we wake up in the morning. Nora's actually cooking. And, a couple kids are kind of like staring like, what's going on?
These are just friends from Daddy's work. It's all right.
And Martel standing there in grease-stained overalls.
And I believe Norland got you some different, like, halfway decent clothing.
Because the clothes you were wearing were kind of covered
bloody.
in
So Nora, did you get the cruise organized last night?
Yes.
Excellent. We're gonna need to get the word out to get the park covered. You can't have groups any smaller than 3 in case they decide to possess one of us.
Just kind of nods.
So what do you make of all this? I kind of, as she's cooking, be leaned back against the kitchen counter. You've been here longer than any of us.
It's hard to say. it's troubling and also terrifying that that there's someone out there that might, I guess, get some sort of joy out of doing these horrific things.
No. In the Federation, such criminals have become vanishingly rare, but we do still have them despite all of our modern psychological knowledge and advanced medical technology. Maybe it's something that never actually can be edited from a people. I don't know. But it's almost as bothersome that these creatures can jump into our minds and take us over completely and anytime they want to.
I can explain a few things. I do have blank spots of my own. At least I can't recall certain events every now and then.
Hmm. Well, we're not made to be prisoners or puppets, either one. And hopefully this operation can lead us to a way out of here for all of us, or at least all of us who wish to come. So yeah.
Do you even think this individual commit the crime again tonight?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We're going on 2 data points. It's not a lot to graph out, as it were. But he struck 2 nights in a row. Now, but you're right. When all the attention may have driven it away. But then again, it was somebody like this who was possessing this Mr. Holmes. The entity struck me as somebody who rather enjoyed the recklessness of it and playing with us primitives, as it were. So it could be that our knowledge just acts as a challenge or a spur.
Poking the zoo animals to see what they do.
Exactly. But I don't think we have a better plan. Unless
Think
one
they
of
get
you...
a thrill from it, do you?
It might be a matter of experimentation. They may be people with this sort of mental capacity or mental state tend to not believe that what they're doing is particularly wrong, but it's the thing that fills a need, whether they a morbid curiosity or an expression of frustration. Depending on the species, this may be one of the few times they have a chance to express themselves on a living, breathing thing that can't really defend itself.
Well, and as I recall, Oliver kind of offhandedly mentioned when he took me through the Civil War simulation, and I chided him for making us fight one another. He kind of offhandedly just said that we do this to ourselves. So maybe this has been going on for a long time. Maybe one or more of these entities has been taking, simulations that start out peaceful and interfering with them enough until yes, human instinct and tribalism on some level takes over. We do wind up fighting amongst ourselves. Maybe that's what they're trying to do here. And for all I know, Oliver is the master, the head of the lab. And as for getting a thrill off of it, while Oliver seemed to compare us to ants in a farm, I have heard stories of people enjoying pulling the legs off of insects, so who knows? So, in the light of morning, after a good night's sleep, does anybody have a better idea, more refinements?
I got nothing, sir.
So, how many field radios did we get? Did we just get one or like two? Or
You get one base unit, and then they're kind of big, like portable ones.
So
how
basically,
many?
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
How many of the portable ones?
3.
Okay. So basically 3 divisions. Radio communicate. Well, 4 divisions because you have a base set. Supported by runners. Bound to be several people in the crew who. How big is the park, Prax?
It's actually decent size. I would say it's probably maybe about a mile and a half.
Okay. Nora, do you know somebody in the Pioneer crew who's a really good driver? Or Martel?
She
How do you,
chuckles a little. That would be me.
really?
I was the pilot of the Pioneer. I'm sure I can drive anything.
Fair enough. Then you've just been assigned as the strike team's wheel woman. We'll need a vehicle that can deal with going through the park and can get us where we need to be quickly.
She kind of shrugs like, I'm not sure if any of the vehicles that we have available would drive through the park.
Martel, you got anything like a Jeep at your shop? Did you notice? Some sort of off-road vehicle?
GM, was there one? Not that I can remember. I mean, the best I could probably do is a tow truck.
Well, a truck might do better off of rough terrain than standard sedans we've seen.
Well, the tow truck's fairly heavy. I don't think it would hold up. I don't think the dirt would hold its weight.
What about a police cruiser?
Depends. Most police cruisers around this time would be suffering from the same problem. I mean, if we had one from like the 21st or 22nd century, maybe.
Well, do you think you could modify a vehicle to better handle rougher terrain and do it within the next 12 hours?
No.
Were motorbikes a thing in this era?
1950.
Yeah, we got one
motorbikes,
good
yeah.
driver.
Well, they had sidecars and such. I had a neighbor once who had old Davidson something or other, and it was bumpy as all heck and had no sense of internal dampening, but it took the back roads well enough.
I can't believe my miracle worker engineer told me he couldn't modify a car.
Oh, he could modify a car. It's just it's going to take longer than 12 hours.
Yeah, with that attitude.
It'll take like 3 weeks.
Limitations of the technology, sir.
Fine.
But yeah, motorcycle could handle it no problem.
The police station may even have one or two as part of its fleet, or some local might have an old one since this is post Great War era.
Well, that's all well and good, but again, we have one good driver. My greatest triumph in this era, gentlemen, has been that I was able to parallel park once.
Well, she drives the motorbike, and someone in the strike team stays in the sidecar. I imagine between either Marteau or Nordland, you can manage a motorbike.
Or someone rides pillion, so we need at least 2 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a plan.
A flying brigade, if you will.
Well,
what? No one got that reference? He looks around, mildly disappointed.
number one, you take care of organizing the troops. Nora, Martel, and Nordland and I will see if we can't figure out how we're going to get from point A to point B when needed.
Aye, sir.
So did you have any motorcycles at the shop, Martel?
Not that
I'll
I
allow.
can.
That'll be an opportunity and an escalation cost.
Once again, the anti-motorbike league fights us again. Saying motorbikes are dangerous.
What are you rebelling against?
What do you got?
Thank you.
Yeah, I got one. But give me like an hour. The starter's pulled out and the fuel pump's out right now, but that I can get that back in easy.
Good. Get Anders to help if you need it. I think he was at your shop anyway. Norton, let's you and I see if we can find another bike at the police station. Unless, Nora, you know someone who has one, might be willing to loan it.
She just shakes her head. Not off the top of my head.
All right. Let's get to work.
All right, let's go to the auto shop. So you arrive there. You find the bike. Anders is there as well. Wondering what was going on because he was driving the tow truck looking for you all night. As you said, Martel, there's a little work on that needs to be done on the bike. Give me a I think we need to make this an extended task. Let's do daring
sure you want-
engineering difficulty 2. No, it's not going to be extended task. There's no point. So just you'll bank it in one go. Yeah, daring engineering difficulty 2.
No focus because I'm dealing with early technology. Didn't take a threat, even though I don't have that.
You do manage to. I'm gonna let you succeed at cost. Or no, it's a difficulty too, right? Yeah, never mind. Ugh. Yes, you get the bike up and running, and it purrs like a kitten. Well, not exactly, but you get the frame of reference.
Yeah, I got. You know what? Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna ride it out to in front of the cap.
Believe the captain though was heading to the police station to find another vehicle, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Also, you're a murderer.
On a dangerous motorbike. Sorry.
That's right.
sorry, that slipped Martel's mind because he doesn't remember.
All right. You get to the police station. Boz was yesterday. Except the chief is. Please comes out. Goes. Detective Haggard into my office now.
I go into his office.
Close the door.
I close the door. Come out without a gun and a badge. You watch.
Where the hell is the suspect? Lieutenant.
I have him in a secure location, Chief.
The securest location is in one of my jail cells here, Lieutenant. Where is Mr. Martel?
Well, Captain Mayor, Lieutenant Martel is in protective custody because he's not the actual murderer. Neither, for that matter, is Mr. Grant.
Oh, not this again. I don't know what game you're playing, Lieutenant, but they were found. Murder weapon. We have plenty of evidence against these individuals. They should be locked up and the job left to the lawyers.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's a possibility at this time, Captain.
Explain.
Well, you're not a police chief and I'm not a lieutenant. And you know this, somewhere deep down. You know that what you are is a captain in the United Federation of Planets Starfleet. And I don't know what's
Looked at
happened or what
you.
hell you've witnessed to makes you want to tamp that down, but that's who you are. And we are not where we're supposed to be, either one of us. And the game being played is this entire place around us. and I'm doing my damnedest to figure it out and get us all, my crew and yours, by the way, the hell out of here.
He stands up, looks out the window. You have no idea what kind of game you're playing.
Well, I know more than I did. I know that the creatures keeping us here are orders of magnitude more advanced than us. And I know that they're able to leap into human minds and the minds of these human-like constructs they've made and do whatever they want and leave us with no memory of it, whatever it was. I know that there's Paradise Falls, there's the American Civil War, there's Egypt, there's Rome, there's even Federation starships of my era. But I also know that just sitting around and playing their game isn't going to get us anywhere. Certainly not going to get us home. Certainly not going to get our crew home. And I also know that unlike the Pioneer, my ship, the Argo's crew, is not entirely made up of humans. And I know my crew well, Captain. Wherever we are, they're doing their damnedest to get to us right now. And so I not only have to think about those of us here, but those people, my crew on my ship, flying into they don't know what, against beings that have powers that frankly baffle me. And I also know that some of these tourists, or maybe the captors himself, this Oliver, are committing murders just to see what we do, just for the hell of it. Maybe they think because they're not actually killing us captured specimens, doesn't really count as murder. But we get involved. Nora's told me about her experiences in the Civil War era. Sooner or later, it stops being simulacrum and it starts being flesh and blood people. And I'll be damned if I let it go that far. So it's time for you to make a choice, sir. Are you going to sit here and put your head in the sand and pretend everything's fine and that Paradise Falls is a real place and you're the police chief and everything's just hunky-dory? Are you going to act like what you are, a Starfleet officer, a starship captain, and do your duty? And with that, I turn and walk out of the office.
You walk out of the office and you slam the door. He's just still looking outside the window, staring.
Now I'll go see if I can't requisition me a motorbike.
You go, I guess, back to reclamations. Not the same guy you dealt with yesterday, but another sergeant there. Lieutenant?
Sergeant, I need a motorcycle.
Or kind of looks at you.
Oh, I've got an operation on that's going to need a vehicle that can handle unpaved terrain. And the closest thing to a Jeep that's around here is a motorcycle. Unless we've got a Jeep in the motor pool that I'm unaware of.
Kind of looks through. We do have there's a couple motorcycles, but they're registered to other officers at the moment. I'll need form 17-B, and I need you to fill out this other form 19-D.
Okay, I look at this forms and see if I can make heads or tail of archaic English.
They're pretty in-depth forms, stating the purpose of why you need the vehicle. What, have you are up to date on your qualifications to operate the vehicle.
I will fill out the forms as convincingly as possible, shading the truth where I can, and outright lying when I need to.
And and as he comes like, well, kind of looks at it. I don't recognize. Uh, so give me a con. Let's go daring.
Okay.
Difficulty 2.
I'll give you a threat for a third die. I have deception, negotiation, and persuasion.
I'll take deception, but I'm upping the complication range to 3.
Ooh, so mean. That wasn't me. That was Martel.
That was Wolfgang.
Oh. Oof. Let's see. I don't think I have anything I can re-roll there, unless I really want to. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I'll spend a determination on all warfare is based upon deception.
Okay, I'll take that.
And re-roll the 2 missed. There we go. There's 3.
You get 'em. You get the momentum.
Not the
Kinda so
time I
like-
thought I would actually use that value. Let's see if I get it back. Nope, not this time.
Everything seems in order. You okay? You have it filled out until tomorrow. And kind of hands you the keys. Then
Thanks.
the garage. Kind of points down.
Okay. Grab Nordland. Nordland, how's your con?
My con, sir? That's a very good question, sir. My con is around an odd number, say a 3-ish.
Okay, so you and I could drive about the same. We're going to die trying to get this back to my house.
I got good control though.
What's your control?
11.
Yeah, you're a better driver than me.
Oh yeah, what could go wrong, sir?
Just take it nice and slow.
Nice and slow, sir. You turn these things all the way over to go slow, right?
I think this is the throttle.
All right. So we'll just turn this all the way over, and we should.
No.
Should I be making some sort of roll here?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm out of determination, so good luck, son.
Give me daring con difficulty 1.
Oh, he's going daring because we're on a motorcycle.
Dangerous motorcycle.
We should've thought
I'll
of
get
that.
over that eventually.
Hey, you made it.
Made it.
Daring's better than mine
Yep.
too.
With a complication on a motorcycle. That's never a good situation.
No. Yes. So you start up, get going. You rev it up, go flying, and nearly.
Woohoo!
Forget where the brakes are.
Wait, sir, the brakes! There are brakes on here, right?
That toggle thingy hanging on to.
Toggle. Wait, what?
You fly out, nearly missing pedestrians out of the garage coming out and
Get
almost
out
hitting
of
a
the
car.
way!
Keep going down, and unfortunately, as you're going down, the sidecar wasn't fastened all the way. And as you're flying down, jogs up and
Oh my god,
looses
it actually
in.
has a sidecar?
Yeah, it has the sidecar, and the sidecar goes one direction while the motorcycle goes the other way.
Sir, we're
Some muddy
losing
hill.
structural stability of this vehicle.
It's okay, I'm in the sidecar. I'm aware. I'm aware, Lieutenant.
And the sidecar goes crashing towards the park.
It's okay, sir. Just hang on. I'm sure the inertial stabilizers on there will protect you.
um, give me fitness plus security difficulty one to brace yourself.
Brace. Let's see, I don't have anything. Apply. Oh shit!
No injury. No injuries. But you do go. The
Yeah, I
car
told
does
you,
stop
sir.
as it hits a bunch of bushes, and you got twigs, like covered in broken twigs, as you stand up, like with leaves.
You just see me going off in the distance. Ah!
Brush myself off. Seatbelt on. Wait, yeah. And I'll see if I can't extricate the sidecar.
Oh, okay. Another fitness to get it essentially out of the bush. Difficulty 2, fitness security.
Oh, good lord. I think I'm actually going to have to give you a threat.
Successfully get out of a bush.
You need to do more push-ups, Captain.
Oh, thank goodness.
You're tired. You pull it out like, I can't believe this. And pull the sidecar out as Nolan pulls the bike back up towards you as you got a little bit better handle of it.
I kind of glare at him and go, "This is why my wife is going to drive."
So you ready to go again, sir?
Let's see if we can't figure out how to reattach this thing first.
Did they have duct tape at this century?
I'm assuming a bolt came loose or something. Uh-oh.
So yes, as you try to attach the sidecar back on, you definitely notice that there is a component that is missing.
Perhaps it's sabotage, sir.
I think it's just shoddy 20th century, faux 20th century construction. Is there a phone booth nearby?
Yes.
A booth with a phone, sir?
I'm going to go and call Martel's shop. Oh, that's right. He's not there anymore, is he?
I was waiting for Prax to say that my phone rang, but okay.
Oh, maybe you're still there. I thought you left for some reason.
Oh. Yeah,
That was
you
my
dial
bad.
it and the phone rings. Is there even a sound effect for that in Roll20?
Bring, bring.
This is
No.
Martel's Auto and Shop. Martel's Auto and Grocery. This is Martel speaking. How can I help?
Martel, this is Captain Haggard. get down to the park, the tow truck, and tools. We need to attach a sidecar to a motorcycle.
What happened, sir?
Martel, get down to the park with the tow truck and some tools. We need to attach a sidecar to a motorcycle.
Doesn't explain, just repeats the order.
It appears to be missing a bolt or some similar attachment.
All right, I'll be right down.
True.
You know, sir, we don't necessarily have to have that. You could sit behind me.
That is true. But again, hopefully I'm not going to... But again, I'm never riding with you again.
But, sir, it wasn't me. It was the crude 20th century technology.
It's a poor craftsman who blames his tools, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
No worries.
It wasn't-
I understand. I had enough
Quick
trouble trying to
question.
drive that tank of a car. How am I to blame? I think the idea was to get the bike back to the house to Nora, because it
Okay.
would have been weird for her to come into the cop shop with us.
Well, because Martel, there's a bike at Martel's place, and then you have another way, so you have two.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to send, we can have sent Nora there. That's fine.
Okay. So, you got the bike ready to go. Nora takes it back to, the house. She wasn't sure where the meeting place was at. I'll roll.
Watch, I'm gonna have to roll a control con to get to you, Cap, with my tow truck.
I have a suspicion that four-wheeled vehicles may be less difficult than two.
So yes, it's actually 3. Guys getting momentum out of that. Martel, as you got done off the phone, he has to go pick up. You hear Nora. Of course, she's not, wearing her typical dress. She's actually wearing, clothes that'll be fitting for someone riding.
A woman in pants?
Yes, a woman in pants. She
Awesome.
revs up the bike and she's like, she kind of nods, takes up, and then she does a wheelie going out, and down the road she goes.
Nice. I love her so much. She can cook and do wheelies.
So yes, you're getting the tow truck. Martel, give me a control plus con difficulty 1 and drive down towards where the captain's at. So yes, you managed to drive the truck down there and get to where the captain. You see the captain looking rather frustrated. No one kind of a little bit smirky.
So what seems to be the problem, Captain?
Well, this piece came off of that piece, and I point the first time to the sidecar and the second time to the bike.
Wait a minute. Walks up to the sidecar, looks at where it attaches to the bike. What happened?
As I said, this piece came apart from that piece.
What did you hit, sir?
Oh, after this piece came off of that piece, it went a fair piece, and then into that bush over there.
Yeah. So just stand there.
So you didn't hit anything?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Nothing.
Now, I will admit that Mr. Nordland here may have accelerated abruptly and enthusiastically.
Sir, it was a very controlled, precise acceleration maneuver.
Then explain to me this, Mr. Nordland. Why are all three of these bolts sheared off?
Poor refining techniques of this century, I suppose.
No.
In any event, Mr. Martell, can you fix it?
Can I fix it? Yeah, I can fix it.
See, we're good to go.
Just you two
I
aren't
knew there wouldn't
driving
be a
it.
problem.
You two aren't driving what, Lieutenant Commander?
This dangerous piece of junk, sir.
There, that's what I was looking for. Well, that suits me fine.
It's okay. He wasn't driving it anyways.
Yes, I was hanging on for dear life.
Well, then in that case, he turns to Nordland and go, well then, you definitely aren't driving it.
Well, if you fix the inertial stabilizers, this wouldn't happen.
These things don't have inertial stabilizers.
What do you mean there's no inertial stabilizers?
Mr.
This
Nordland,
is
we're in the equivalent of the human mid-20th century. They barely had brakes.
Savages.
In many ways. Anyway, gentlemen, let's get on with this. And
Yeah,
so
I mean, if
I
they
can
don't
get
have it,
cleaned
you
up.
know, inertial
So-
stabilizers, you're gonna have to boost the integrity field of this vehicle.
there's no integrity. Okay, you know what? Just stick to your security. I'll stick to the engineering.
Yes, sir.
Pops out the old bulb, slides in new ones, and quickly attaches it. There. Things fixed.
Excellent. Good work.
Thank you, sir.
All right. right, let's see what this baby can do now.
Lieutenant, you're
Well,
there. And points to the sidecar.
but sir, how will we ever know the true test of your workmanship?
Do you trust me?
Oh, okay.
So, okay, Haggard will see if he can't carefully, and after a few minutes study and thought, crank up the bike and maneuver us on home.
Daring plus con. Difficulty 1.
It's nice and easy, Captain.
You know, I would totally switch out of focus for something like internal combustion engine powered vehicles, but probably never need it again. Okay.
You know, I mean, Kirk managed to drive a motorcycle every now and then.
Oof, only in the J.J. Abrams versions. I'm spending that to
That's
momentum,
true.
by the way.
And over the roar of the engine, you hear Martel just yell out, "Let go of the brake!"
And I do, and off we go.
See, I just imagine him just
Flying down
hammering
the
down
road.
and then flying over head over heels over head. Oh God!
Sir, I think I like these things a lot more when I'm driving them.
You left the tow truck there and you're all 3 on the bike? Or
Nope,
just
nope.
the 2?
No,
Just
no,
I'm
just the 2, and I'm
Haggard's
still up
piloting
there.
and
Yeah.
Nordland's white knuckling it in the sidecar.
And I'll just hop in the tow truck and head to the house.
Alright. Some time passes. All of you meet up at the house. There's a bike sitting in the driveway.
Haggard will get some pointers from West and do a little practice driving the bike around before tonight.
Okay.
To try and lower the difficulty of future checks.
Sounds like an advantage.
Yeah.
Let's
So you
go
want me to-
with yeah, there'll be a roll. I'm assuming Nora's gonna have to be the one rolling for this. So yeah, I'll say the insight, or you're gonna roll insight con
Okay.
for the assist, because you're learning.
Right.
Difficulty will be 2.
Okay. I'll let her roll first.
She rolling flat.
We don't have any momentum left.
Could throw a threat at it.
Yep, throw a threat at it. Does she have bold helm
Okay.
or anything? Bold con?
Yeah. Oh, there's the re-rolling that.
Well, still better than the whammy. And then my assist.
get the momentum out of it.
Yay!
And she's like sitting there, she's wearing pants, completely not the normal thing. She's teaching you to ride the bike, and
Right.
some of the neighbors are kind of like staring, like, what's going on?
We have an unconventional marriage! We issue traditional gender roles!
So yeah, difficulty is reduced by 1 for the advantage.
Nice. So, okay, after all this, let's kind of make our way back toward the park and see if number 1 has found a place for the strike team that is kind of central, but still somewhat camouflaged or
Yeah,
hidden.
I'm thinking a spot where you guys can kind of tuck the vehicles out of sight. The
Right.
walkers can kind of call down to you, so you can spring out and rush. That way, you don't have to worry too much about hiding because you're trying to hide like motorbikes and
Right.
a truck and stuff. It's like, oh, that's hard to hide.
If memory
And we'll give
serves,
Nordland the beanbag gun. He can ride in the sidecar with a shotgun.
He's riding shotgun. Sorry.
wow. So yes, if I remember correctly, you did have like an advantage point from last session that you could reuse again as sort of your headquarters.
Yeah,
Right.
the watch points from
Yeah.
last time. Yeah.
And there is a couple alleyways that could hide 2 motorcycles and a sidecar.
Nice.
And I'll have one of the radios given over to them wherever they're storing it. They'll figure that out. They're the ones that have the bikes.
I mean, those are probably the actual bikes that you would be having right now. Are those? So, yeah. So, have the location and you're waiting and waiting. You notice, through as the night falls, you do notice like street lamps, like come on. And you see various couples sort of, walking down the sidewalks, not totally entering the park.
Just kind of.
Radio check all posts. As Wolfgang checks to make sure everyone else's radios work, and 2, they remember how to use them.
Do I have a radio?
Yeah, our little strike group does, or either that or in shouting distance.
I imagine the strike has one, and there was enough for each team. So
Yeah.
You see me start fiddling with it. What the freak does this button do?
it hits the buzzer.
Just hear this loud bzzz come through. Oh shit!
Ensign Nordland.
So who's keeping watch?
I guess one would be Caleb. Or, whoa. Martel.
Martel. If Caleb's watching, we have no whole problem. What's that alien over there doing? What's with his nose?
And Wolfgang for sure.
Yeah.
And Haggard will be keeping a lookout from our position, wherever it is.
from one of the alleyways.
Yeah.
So Norland and Haggard, give me insight check difficulty 2.
Insight.
Security.
Not my better rolls. Hoo-hoo. And I don't have a way to buy that one off.
Complication stands, you're just too busy arguing with Nolan as he's playing with the radio.
Okay.
Telling you, sir, I really think I'm starting to get the hang of this thing. If you just turn these two knobs at the same time, I think we'll get
Nordland,
something.
delay that nonsense.
Wolfgang, insight security difficulty 3. And whoever else is keeping watch in the upper area.
Infiltration focus? Not really.
And increased complication.
Actually, could I argue for team dynamics? Because I'm kind of using the team to kind of help me see things, like the other watch teams.
At increased complication.
I'll take that for $1. I haven't done this before, so that doesn't come into play. I'd like to spend for the value, hopefully, of the simple things must never be forgot, on the basis that I'm not using sensors or anything fancy like that. It's just good old out in the binoculars and a bunch of people watching an area, and it's like, no, using radios and just keeping it and being used to that sort of thing, like not being thrown by being so low tech.
Sure.
And I'll spend a momentum and 1 threat, because I don't want to miss this, for an extra die.
Yeah, I'm back
And
up at 6. Hey, get it. You notice in the distance a couple walking towards kind of almost near the last time that more of a secluded area near where the other 2 murders happened.
We have a description of the. It's a male and female, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's a couple. Yeah, male and female.
There could be a couple dudes going fishing. You don't know. Actually, you should know. But yes.
There is a sort of river, so.
Wolf to strike. Couple near the original murder site, and he gives a description of what they look like.
Acknowledged. Does it look like any trouble?
Night, sir, they're the first ones to approach the original area. Advise you have your engines warmed up.
Fair enough.
Not quite that much, sir. You don't have to make noise over the radio, sir. No, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
So yeah, Wolfgang, as you're kind of watching, they kind of disappear from your line of sight.
Watch team 1, watch team 2. See anything? I lost sight.
I guess 2 would be me.
You're on the surface, ground floor. Insight security difficulty 1, since it was pointed out. Unless someone was tailing them.
I'm gonna have to give you a
Yeah.
Threat?
For an extra die. Hey, just got it.
So yeah, you notice them. They go down towards it. Almost very secluded. A lot of trees. And secluded. And you kind of step to watch, and you notice out of like kind of far away, but you think that the gentleman is holding something in his hands.
I'm gonna start tailing. I'm gonna try and close the distance stealthily. But before I move, I'll go 2 to 1. I've got him on the move. Male appears to be holding some kind of weapon.
Strike team, I'd probably get going if I were you.
Unless it's an engagement ring.
If you want to stand by, strike team, that's up to you.
Sir, I suggest we go.
Be advised, I'm Oscar Mike on their 6.
Acknowledge.
All right, let's go.
You sure you don't want me to drive, sir?
Nordland, you just shoot.
Yes, sir.
2 threats spent for a complication that's playing out.
Oh,
So as you rev up the engines and you guys beam flight, Martel, you notice that the man kneels on one knee. The obviously he holds out, pulls it up.
Told you.
Back off, back off, back off. It's not them.
Okay, we just ride around the block then.
All right.
As Wolfgang
Get back to
watches
the
the
one.
strike team start revving, start running in, and like, oh, well.
I knew it.
I had that complication planned before you even said something. I was like, damn. You already guessed it.
That's the problem with this whole thing. It's,
It is.
So yeah. Back to positions. Keeping an eye out.
Everyone reset, calm down, watch for another one.
Recommend we change locations.
Yeah, go to standby positions, Delta. Coordinate will stay put. We have best vantage.
Roger.
What I would do for a tricorder right now. He mutters to the people
No
with
doubt.
him.
What I would do for a proper hypospanner.
what did I do for my phaser rifle? Oh wait, wrong game.
Or right game. You don't. So we get back on watch and hopefully we find our killer.
All right. A couple hours pass. Not many people are walking in or out of the park at the moment.
Just tapping my fingers. So did you bring anything to drink, sir?
Everybody just stay alert.
So yeah, nothing is currently happening.
I'll have some runners grab some food for people and start handing it out. So that way the watch teams can stay through the night. 'Cause nothing sucks more than doing a stakeout and not having anything to eat the whole time.
If you're taking orders, Martel would ask for coffee.
It'll be cold, but and so will the sandwiches. But hey, it's food and liquid. Downside of this era, nothing's 24 hours anymore. Can't even use a vending machine of all things. I mean, come on.
They had cigarette vendors, didn't they?
Back then, yeah.
I suppose.
I've seen enough TV shows from back then to kind of know that answer.
Saw TV shows. I get it. Okay, sure.
Leave It to Beaver, sponsored by Chesterfield. Smoke what
No,
the
they-
beef smokes.
For the most part, you actually see it like on the sides, you know?
Yeah.
Like they'll be walking in the scene, you actually see the cigarette vending machine. And you're just kind of like, what is... Yep, what are you doing? Got food for people? And...
Patiently waiting. So stakeouts are a waiting game.
Trying to
Indeed.
keep our eyes open.
So, Captain, I spy with my little eye.
Every so often, Wolfgang does radio checks, but just making sure everyone's radios work.
When Nordland starts doing that, you hear Martel come over the radio and go, Nordland, are you really going to hold down the transmit button all night?
Wait, you're not supposed to?
No, Mr. Nordland. We've been hearing you chatter for the last while.
Oh, some good clues, wasn't it, in the last game? I was really surprised Captain didn't get what I spied last time.
What, grass?
Well, yes, but not the type that grows on the ground there.
All right. Radio silence except for mission-specific communications.
Acknowledged.
Copy, sir, as I unclick the button. So now can we still play since I'm not broadcasting?
Mr. Nordland, you do realize I am the one who writes your performance evaluations.
Yes, sir. I'll try to make sure it's a good one.
Carry on, Ensign.
That's Lieutenant Junior grade, sir.
Is it?
Yes, sir. I think memory would be affected.
Oh no. My memory's fine.
Yes, sir. Crystal clear.
Is Nora sitting here like listening, just shaking her head? I spy with my little eye a man wearing a black suit and a woman in a red dress at 3 o'clock.
Nordland, Commander Wolfgang and have him get eyes on that couple.
Yes, sir. Breaking radio silence. Hey, you guys, wake up. We got a couple out there doing, not a whole lot, but they're out there.
Care to narrow down a location there, strike team?
Yeah, our location.
Talking the ones that are about 200 meters to your right.
Oh, yeah, I think I see him. Watch 1, watch 2, keep on. Hopefully it's not another false alarm.
Yeah, I'll be on their 6 when they pass.
You watch the lovebirds.
Kind of veer through the park a little bit, and then they kind of slowly make their way back towards the town itself. Give me a insight. Whoever's on the ground, insight security, and this is a post.
Not me, because I'm up on a vantage point somewhere.
Yeah, I'm down on the ground, so that'll be me, but my insight security's crap.
Can I do this?
You're on the ground, aren't you?
Yeah.
Strategy and tactics as a focus.
And I'll roll with an extra die as well from Prax. You can take it.
Okay. There's 2 successes on the table.
I'll give you a threat for a third die. Will you take strategy and tactics as a
No.
focus? Okay.
So Northern and then Martell, can I see it? The individual, like he's just leading her, and they're kind of wandering apart. They head back down, and then kind of veers her towards a dark onset where there's minimal lighting.
Sir, I got a bad feeling about this.
Martel doesn't even. He runs right up to the corner they just turned and pokes his head around.
I'm going to give you one shot at this. The man literally has her by the throat and is getting ready to.
Stabby, stab, stab.
Stabby,
He's
stab,
gonna
stab.
run up and kick him in the nuts.
Alright. It's a little hard to do, but. So, yeah, suppose daring security.
Take a threat.
Spending that threat.
Got any determination sitting around?
Yeah, but no values I could use.
Nicely done.
Oh, it's a tie.
Take the complication.
There'll be a you can succeed at a cost.
Yeah, why not?
You succeed at a cost, however, you are taking some knife damage here.
Kind of hitting each other at the same time. Or hitting the knife.
So yeah, you're gonna get hit, but you're technically like you interrupt the knife strike is the complication. So you're gonna get hit by taking. I'm gonna roll damage, and it's gonna be half of the stress for the knife. All right. That will
Okay.
represent the actual complication because you're getting hit by the knife while you're trying to take him out, and then you can roll damage.
Okay.
So
Huh,
two.
only 1 damage. Only 1
So
damage.
you take it, you get cut as you're going in, and then roll the rest of your damage, please. So 5. I'm gonna spend 2 threat to keep him up.
Well, he gets it knocked over.
He
Unless he
does
spends
get
more
knocked
threat.
over. No. He
Oh,
does.
okay.
You do knock him flat on the across the face and goes down. The woman, when he lets go of the woman, she's shocked and she starts screaming, running down.
Strike team, go! Wow.
All right. Killers go. He gets up and he's going to make a run for it.
I'm gonna chase him down. Try and football tackle him.
You already went, so then it'd be strike team.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My
We're
bad.
doing this in combat order.
Just get in the way, Captain.
Oh,
He starts
that's
running.
not good news.
He starts running. So, I need. So, this is where everyone else gets to go at this point, except for Martel, because he already went. Yeah, it's 1, so it's going to be a difficulty 2. Because terrain. Advantage, so 1 for the captain, and then 2 for Nora.
Is this Daring Con or Control Con?
Daring Con.
Okay.
Robert Redford is Rebel Without a Cause.
Have a threat for a 3rd die.
All right.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and catch up to him to give Nordland a decent shot with the bag gun. Ooh, that's not good.
Well,
I could go wrong.
yeah. So
You can buy that off.
You can buy it off.
Oh yeah, I'll buy it off. Yeah, I didn't know we had momentum on the board.
That's because your lovely wife got 4 successes.
I married up. What can I say? That's true in real life as well.
Hashtag relatable.
So yes, the 2 of you do catch up, and now it's top of the round. So
Actually, I think we keep getting turns, don't we? Because we outnumber.
Yeah, Nordland hasn't gone yet.
Norland gets to go. So Norland, it's your go. So they catch up. You can shoot him with the beanbag.
All right.
Shotgun.
I will. Now, are there minor actions with this? Is there aim or charge?
You
can
can
aim.
You can
Yeah.
aim. There's no charge. You can aim. But the difficulty
Racks
is
a perfectly
going.
good shot.
Difficulty is going to be 3 because of the speed that you're going at.
Unstable platform.
Yeah.
Okay. This would be control security.
Correct.
All right. I will give you a threat for extra die.
Nah. It's actually a bad one.
Nice.
Roll on the sheet.
Nah.
8 challenge dice, please.
Wow.
Ow.
But non-lethal, theoretically.
It is non-lethal.
Ow.
Shoot him
Ow.
right in the nuts.
It's 11.
That increases the difficulty, you see, because you're targeting.
All right. It's a called shot.
So yeah, you hit him with the beanbag. He goes down, and down like a rock. And as you veer and pull up and kind of corner him, as Martel is catching up, and he's out, but he's got to the beanbag hit him square in the head, in the temple.
Ooh.
Oh, there could be some brain damage there, sir. It's a great shot, though, sir, right?
It was a good shot. Now we need to get him to somewhere where we can keep him from translating out.
As you get ready to pick him up, you hear some sounds and walks in, and you recognize the three. It's the two FBI agents and Oliver, and they're confronting you. Stop. Like, we'll take that from here.
I look over to the captain. Sir?
Well, Oliver, looks like you're not quite as advanced as you would like to believe if you've still got individuals like this in your species.
Walk with me for a bit. And he just kind of looks to the two groundskeepers.
I give Nordland like the kind of hand sign, it's okay, and I stroll off with Oliver.
Observer to strike. Is everything all right? Because I can't see what's going on.
No, you can't.
We got him. This is Watch 2. We got him, but some goons have shown up.
Do you need assistance?
No, let's just say we've met before.
Acknowledge.
You start taking a stroll down with Oliver. Well, I am terribly sorry that this happened, Captain.
And how long has this been going on? How many of this you people do it yourselves has actually been this entity or someone else playing tourist deciding to make the experiment or your exhibit interactive?
You have to forgive me, Captain. However, our people do not know of violence. You do. We are quite peaceful. We shun at the idea of such committing atrocities, let alone our people are incapable of murdering each other.
Well, then, but obviously not incapable of murdering others or taking a little bit of pleasure from watching us less civilized creatures murder ourselves.
It was not the intention of that. It was intended to be educational for us. As you wander and explore the galaxy, we decide to stay here and bring the exploration to us.
By capturing unwilling subjects, by subjecting us to trauma, to life after life. This is no way to learn about a species. If you truly desire to learn about the wider galaxy or the Federation or humanity, we can share this information to you. All you have to do is ask. There's no need for this elaborate technological falderall. Communication will get you what you need rather than deception and imprisonment.
Do you not set up outposts and watch other cultures develop slowly over time, even in your current state of technology?
We do, but we are also guided by a non-interference policy. What you do is definitely interfering.
You mistake this. You believe that you're at a point in time where, well, frankly, time is relative. You're not thinking fourth dimensionally, Captain.
Well, of course I'm not thinking fourth dimensionally. I'm an ant, remember? 3 dimensions is about all we can handle.
Maybe
And I understand.
and was an understatement on my part.
But still, you are taking sentient beings, albeit admittedly at least less advanced than your people, against our will and holding us prisoner. That's not our natural state. So everything you are learning is contaminated by your own observations. Your own experiment is flawed from the beginning. This, and I kind of gesture around, no matter what set dressings you use, this is not reality. It is not us in our natural habitat, if you will.
It wasn't so much as a study on your natural habitat, but a study on your instincts and how you react to certain problems that may arise. Though our people are told not to interfere,
I'm not so sure
merely observe.
that they are all quite as dedicated to that non-interference as you are. And in any event,
This individual is an anomaly, and he will be properly punished for it.
that's all well and good, but it still leaves you and I on opposite sides of this table. We're not meant to be locked up. We don't handle it well. And we don't handle these iterations well. You can see that for yourself in the examples of people like Captain Meyer. You need to let us go. The Federation will be happy to establish peaceful contact, show you our history. If you want to talk about instincts, our entire history is of learning to control and overcome the baser instincts and to feed, nurture, and grow the better angels of our nature. This is what you're missing. We are not just subjects that react to stimuli. We're thinking beings. We can go beyond stimuli reaction.
Perhaps. But today is not the day that we shall meet. Maybe when you are more prepared. You'll be returned to your ship, but you will have no memory of it, and everything will be as it was.
And the
day you
Pioneer
left.
crew?
They will be returned as well to the point of origin time that we took them from. This was always in our intention. You could have stayed here as long as you wish, but at the end of the day, when you wish to return back, you would have gone back to the point in time we took you from.
Well, I, for one, am ready to go. However, if any member of my crew or the Pioneer's crew wishes to stay and is of right mind to make such a decision, I won't interfere. But I want your assurances that incidents like we've seen over the past 2 days won't be allowed to happen again. And one of the tourists I spoke to, I have no idea if it was our perpetrator or not. Frankly, I wasn't very comfortable with his attitude. I would hope that you would increase your vetting process for those you allow to come into the exhibit.
Indeed. Well, Captain, I suggest you get a good night's rest, because in the morning when you wake, you'll be in the bed of your own ship.
For which
Good
I
day,
will be
Captain.
glad. And Oliver, maybe one day if we meet again, we'll be on better circumstances and in the real universe, not an imaginary one. We wish your people well.
Perhaps. He just nods. And
So
walks
yeah,
off.
I'll go back and talk to the crew.
Alright.
Well, number one, gentlemen, ladies, Apparently, we are to be returned to our own time and our own ships. Those who wish to go, any who wish to stay, can. They will be returned when and if they should change their minds. Doesn't look like we're going to remember any of this.
It figures. Better to not reveal the sin.
So we have one more evening here in Paradise Falls. And I kind of walk up to Commander West and offer her my arm. Fancy a stroll in the park?
Don't mind if I do. After all, I'm very grateful to you, Captain. Finally,
And I
to
to you.
escape this nightmare.
I now know how to ride a motorcycle. Number 1, I'll see you in the morning.
So do you remember that? She kind of.
Aye, sir. I'll be sure to let the rest of the crew know and spread the word.
And yeah, I'll go for a stroll in the park with a beautiful biker babe.
At which point you are possessed and are forced to stab her. So.
It happens.
It happens.
Okay. So unless there's any other roleplay, we'll continue on to the final scene.
On his way out, Wolfgang, because I'm presuming Wolfgang came down to meet them during the walk and talk. Well, Nordland, Martel, good bit of work there. For the time being, inform your relevant departments and spread the word across your cells. I'll talk with the science and other departments, and we'll pass on the Pioneer. Beyond that, you're at leave once you pass along the word.
Yes, sir. So, does this mean that I'm going to become the new chief of security someday?
Mr. Nordland, you are the chief of security. Are you all right? You might want to take a lay down once you're done. Side muttered to Martel, I'm really thinking of replacing him. He's starting to lose his edge.
Well, he wasn't the chief of security when we got here. He's not going to remember that.
Oh, that's true. Well, maybe I won't have a negative review of him. Although I was worried about them before, so.
Who knows? Perhaps he'll wind up on the Pioneer.
Thrown into the past? That'd be a mean joke.
Well, as long as you don't replace me with some weird-looking alien.
What, like a Tellarite?
Yeah, there's just mean. They like to argue with everything.
Commander Wolfgang starts walking away, muttering to himself, you better hope I don't remember that.
Well, you know, Tellarites don't really like to argue. They more love to insult each other. Call each other a pig nose and stuff like that.
And
Well,
then I'll
any
just
other
accidentally walk up on the captain at a very inconvenient. Oh, sorry, sir. Is this a bad time?
They're just playing jacks. What the? Who had a jack sit with them? Who's in the jacket?
Captain, is it an inconvenient time?
Who was that, Nordland?
Yeah.
Mr. Nordland, I believe Commander Martell was looking for you. Were I you, I'd find him.
Really?
Really?
Well, okay. I mean, if you don't need me.
Dismissed, mister.
Yes, sir.
Now then, where were we?
Oh, but before I go.
Mr. Nordland!
Oh, sorry, sir.
She just kind of looks like, is your crew all like that from your era?
Thankfully, no. Mr. Nordland is one of a kind.
I see.
And I'm sure he'll fit in very well in his next assignment.
Interesting choice of words.
Well, it's not like we're going to remember any of this in the morning, supposedly.
That's a shame.
Isn't it?
I, for one, will have a hard time forgetting you, Captain Haggard.
The feeling's mutual, Commander West.
And the two of you kind of enjoy a nice evening, late night stroll.
Okay, we can always go back home.
Alright, with that, I think we'll go to the next scene.
All right.
All of you kind of go to bed and you wake up the next morning on board the USS Argo with no memory of what happened. Currently, you're in deep space conducting a survey mission. Essentially, we're picking up at the start of when all this began.
Sensor scopes show clear currently, Captain. Aside from the anomaly alpha beta.
No threats on the scope, sir.
Very good. Since we're all quiet on the bridge, I think I'll take a walk. Looks like a nice morning for it. And Haggard will take his cup of very good coffee and go walk about the ship. Yay, home.
Do you manage to make your way into engineering?
Sure.
Hold up.
Oh.
So, Captain, you get up, you head towards the turbolift. The turbolift doors open, and you bump into an ensign. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Ensign? Did you just transfer in?
No, sir, I've been on board for quite a while. I don't think we formally met, but it's an honor to meet you, sir. I usually work the gamma shift. I'm a pilot.
Excellent. West, yes. Commander Wartburg's reports speak very highly of you. Glad to have you aboard. Are you the first in your family to be in Starfleet?
Sorry. No, sir. Actually, My great-grandmother was in Starfleet. She served one of the first NX classes.
Oh, amazing. The universe was a lot bigger in those days, Ensign. I'm sure you'll do your family proud.
Thank you, sir.
Carry on.
Of course, sir.
Senator, your reliefs here. Into West, take your post.
Yes, sir.
And no fancy flying, please. We're just flying in a relatively straight line. That includes cartwheels, barrel rolls.
Of course, Commander. No fancy flying. Perhaps we'll find a nice planet or on the sensors. What do you think, Commander? Place to stretch our legs a little bit.
Most likely, we do have a science project coming up down the way, but we don't want to move too fast and miss these anomalies.
Of course, sir. But my Grammy said she was out here this far. She had quite an adventures.
As far as the NXs came out this far.
Yes, you didn't know about the Pioneer?
No, not briefed on her.
Yeah, they supposedly came out this far, and then for some strange reason they decided to turn around and head back home.
Oh, yeah, I remember she got into some trouble for that. Whole investigation and everything. It was in the security handbooks back then on mysterious mental changes.
Yeah, my Grammy had to take control of the Pioneer. The captain, for some reason, had a mental breakdown. They're wondering if humans could survive long duration voyages for a while.
Oh, that's some of the opinion that even these days there's a talk in the upper ranks about instituting standard ship's counselors aboard ships for deep space missions, given the amount of strain that people can feel this far out, even these days.
You hear a small
Don't we?
snicker over from Norwin. Counts.
I suppose so. I mean, of course, the doctors acted as counselors too back then.
Well, they also had polarized hulls instead of shields, but we advancements carry on.
So, what speed shall I set?
For now, let's stay at, let's say, warp 7.5, and once we're past alpha, we'll advance to warp 8.
Aye, sir. And with that, we will slowly fade. Ending Paradise Falls, Part 3.